it's 5:30, actually a little
Did
after.
you take mine?
We're going to go ahead and get started. At this time, I'd like to call our monthly board meeting to order. And if everyone would join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, would everyone please stand and say our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Board members, we're down to approving our agenda. We do have one item to add to the agenda tonight under item E. This is to approve change order for cafeteria expansion at the Muhlenberg County High School. I'll make a motion to amend the agenda by adding this item.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of approving the addition item E to the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I hear none. And are there any other additions to the agenda tonight? If not, I need a motion to approve the amended agenda. Motion by Mr. Johar. Second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of approving the amended agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I hear none. We'll move down now to our recognitions. Ms. Carla.
Good evening, board members and guests. Got some special folks in here tonight. They play a very important role in our schools across the district. Muhlenberg County School District has 7 school resource officers, also known as SROs, who are each assigned to a particular school building. On any given school day, you will find these gentlemen patrolling the hallways, assisting with lunchroom duties, welcoming students and staff as they arrive at school, and saying goodbye to them at the end of the day. Our SROs are present for after-school events, including ball games and dances. They love those. These are just a few of the numerous jobs our SROs are caught doing on a daily basis. When asked what they liked most about serving as an SRO in the Muhlenberg County School District, here are a few of their answers. I love building positive relationships with students. Seeing a big smile on their face when I joke with them or give them words of encouragement makes being an SRO the best job in law enforcement. I like getting to know the kids that are going to be the future of our county and possibly being a positive influence on them. I like trying to build a positive rapport with the students. I like doing everything possible to provide our students with a safe environment to learn and grow in. I like interacting with students. I like knowing what I'm doing gives the student a safe learning environment for the kids and a safe working environment for the teachers. It also gives me a chance to visit the kids and teachers, which lets them get to know me and makes it easier on them if they need to talk or tell me anything. I get unlimited number of opportunities to connect with students and build relationships that will last a lifetime. The position I'm in is daily rewarding, and both parents and staff are a little more at ease by my presence inside the school building daily. It is an honor to be part of something that has proven successful, but it's a blessing to be a part of the reason it was made successful. And for those reasons and so many more, we want to recognize each school resource officer this evening. So, gentlemen, as I call your name, I'm going to have you come up, and Mr. Perkins as well as Ms. Orr are going to present just a certificate of appreciation for all the work that you do for us. I'm going to start just in order by our schools, so it's not in order by rank or how long you have served. I'll start with Bremen. So Derek Moore works at Bremen Elementary. Derek has 2 sons, Alex and Jackson, and a girlfriend, Donna Woodward. Derek began in January. Pause and let me take a picture. Great.
What's the important part?
Tommy Nance works at Central City Elementary. He has 2 sons, Tristan and Caden, and wife Barbara. Tommy began in August of 2021.
You say the clapping for them and give them a sense.
Darren Albro works at Greenville Elementary, and he is married to Nicole. Darren began in August of 2007. And I just want to mention his lovely mother-in-law, Teresa, is here with us as well. One of our newbies is Mr. Jim Bauer. He works at South Elementary. He began in January.
Mr. Bauer ties that open. The chicken.
It's getting a little rougher at the edges.
Somebody jumped over the fence.
Moving on to our middle schools, Mr. Brock Medford works at North Middle as well as Longest Elementary. He has 3 children, Jace, is it Mia? Mia and Sadie, and he is married to Casey. Brock began in January of 2019. You'd be in the middle, don't you? Then at South Middle, we have Mr. Wes Miller. He has 2 daughters, Mackenzie and Emily, and he is married to Erica. Wes began in August of 2018. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Shannon Albro works at the high school. He has a son, Xander, and is married to Amy. Shannon began in October of 2020. What a great year. Awesome. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for the work that you do each and every day across our school district and across our county. If you wouldn't mind, I would love to have one group picture of you officers, if you don't mind to come back up. You don't have to hold your certificate with you, but let me just grab one more shot while I can, while we have you in one room. Yes, and you can get a quick applause.
So many bullets can't fit in.
Show a little love, just a little bit more, sorry.
Wes, you don't have to hide your belly, Wes.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I gotta get it.
You gotta pick them.
Look at all the hair.
One more.
Or like us.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
It's all high speed right there.
Wow.
I do have one other recognition I just want to mention to you all. Before leaving, let's see what we're going
It's
to
for
do.
ease of.
There's a banner that was created for your upcoming KSBA conference,
Awesome.
and they moved to digital. They started that, I believe, last year, and so you all will get a pamphlet that'll have the digital banners in it, but the physical banner that it was created by is out in the hallway on the wall next to another one that was made a few years ago. Miss Mary French from Bremen, her STLP group helped create that. So look for that in your pamphlet when you go to KSBA, but the actual banner is out in the hallway.
Yeah,
Thank you all.
We missed it for a long time over there.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move down now to our treasurer's report, Mr. Blitzinger.
Chairman Rager?
Is it gonna work tonight?
No, it's gonna work tonight because I'll load it directly on. All right. So, beginning with revenues, beginning balance is at 38.2 million. This is up by 5.7 million. That was due to the receipt of the TVA funds last month. And I wanted to just point something out to you all. Last month, I think I pulled some incorrect numbers, so it did not reflect the TVA funds on there. So if you look back at your previous, it was not on there. So SECA is unchanged, federal is up about 50,000, state is down 70, taxes also are down 4.2 million, and other is down 6.3. Monthly receipts are down 10.4 from last month and down 6.1 from the same period last year. For total receipts, let's see, that one's just 3.9 million, sorry. Let's see, expenditures. Total accounts payable was about 1.7 million this month, and it is up approximately 588,000 compared to the same period last year, and that was mostly in the general fund this time. Significant bills in January were Old National Wealth of $255,236, Supply Solutions, which was the cafeteria furniture of $134,809, Principal Environmental, which also was part of the cafeteria, was $107,440. A&K Construction was $91,948. Payroll is at 2.9 million, and it's up 103,000 versus January of 2002 for total expenses of 4.56 million. Accounts payable breakdown, fixed and mixed expense for about 957,000, variable expenses 542,000, and utilities were 151,000. Accounts payable total AP of 1.649 million. General fund was 844,000 approximately. Fund 2 and school activity fund about 201,000. Debt service 255,000. Construction about 144,000. Food service and daycare was about 205,000. And trust and agency, which are the scholarship funds, was 1,000. Ledger balance at the close of the month was about 37.6 million. Bank balance is 27.9. Outstanding checks of about 867,000 for a cash close of 27 million. Breakdown of that balance. General fund is at about 23.6 million. That's down 84,000. Fund 2 is at negative 1.2 million. That's down about 178,000. Construction is 2.3, it's down 144,000. Debt service at negative 1 million, down 255,000, reflects the current payment. Food service 2.4 million, it's down about $8,000. Daycare is 808,000, that's up about 98,000. Trust and agency fund is at 36,000, down 1,000, which was reflected in the previous slides, or a couple slides. District activity fund is 44,219. Extended financial picture in June of 23, we expect to have about 32.2 million. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions on the treasurer's report? If not, I need a motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Bowers.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of approving the treasurer's report, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. We'll move down now to payment of bills and salaries.
February board bills bring $366,603.04. Of that, $209,967 is general fund, and debt service, the significant amount, so debt service $113,756. The significant bills, obviously, is the Old National Wealth Management debt service payment of $113,756.25. Any questions?
Any questions? If not, I need a motion to approve bills and salaries. Motion by Mr. Jabbar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of paying bills and salaries, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Move down now to public participation. Do we have anybody? No? Okay. All right, and we'll move down now to the superintendent report. Just make a note that our personnel actions have been given to the board, and that will be placed into our minutes. And I'll turn it over now to Ms. Orr.
So tonight we have Mr. Watkins from the Renaissance Center who's going to share with us the school.
Good afternoon. To begin, kind of like some other principals have mentioned, it's just been good to have a normal school year and kind of get back to some normal routines. And though it's been difficult with some of our students, we've got some good things that are going on at the Renaissance Center. To begin, of course, due to COVID, we lost out on some of the resources and different agencies that we worked with, and just kind of lost that relationship as people changed positions. And one of those was the Job Corps. In the fall of 2020 was our last trip to Job Corps. We used to take a couple each year, and we're real intentional about the students that we took with us out to that trip. It was some students that we felt like needed something a little more than what we could do for them. So back in the fall, we took our first trip in a long time. It was really cool to see they're building their enrollment back up. So normally they have over 300 students. They had about 50 when we went. So we took two guys out with us and we toured the facility. And there's a really new, cool trade that they have set up. It's like a distribution center. It's called shipping and handling, and these guys set up orders just like they would at Clark's or the Walmart distribution center, and they get a certification that allows them to get jobs at these distribution centers. So the two guys enrolled, and they enrolled back in November. They've gone through the first part. It's called My Pace, and that's kind of like career. They choose a career, and then they have to present to a board what their career path is. And both of those guys have completed that. One has started the shipping and handling certification. The other has started the welding certification. So we were glad to be able to do that again. We have another group that we're going to take in the spring, and we're excited to build that relationship back with the Job Corps. On to the Renaissance Center, we have, on the ALC side, we've had 71 students through our program, 36 students currently enrolled, and we have had 26 students that have successfully completed our ALC program. For them to return to their regular campus, of course, no major behavior incidents, no more than 2 unexcused absences per 9 weeks, and then, of course, maintaining passing grades. So very proud of those 26 students who have gone back to their regular school. And then lastly, the MOVE program. We have 57 students who are currently enrolled. The students have completed 168 credits so far. We've had 4 seniors that have completed the necessary coursework to graduate in the spring. And we expect 20 graduates. That's a little down from last year, but we have a much bigger underclassmen group than we have over the past couple of years. With COVID, we had a lot of seniors that had gotten used to working and kind of wanted that virtual option up last year, so we had 32 or 35 seniors that graduated last year. And then lastly, the 4 seniors that have completed this year, we had one real special kind of graduate, 23-year-old lady, I won't say girl, with 2 kids. She had dropped out as a senior, had been in and out of homeschool, and it didn't work out. So her senior year, she dropped out. She filled out a MOVE application, and Miss Beth worked with her, and glad to say last week that she completed the program and she will graduate in the spring. That's all I have.
That's all I have. Thank you so much. We always like
Hold on.
to share our successes.
We're gonna have
To add something to it, sorry.
Mr. Freeman and Sean Matthews, we're gonna have them share kind of an update on what's going on with the ball fields, and then with the cafeteria. So, Mr. Freeman, I'm gonna ask you.
That's okay.
Board members, my name is Matt Freeman. I'm with Freeman Athletic Fields, and we are working diligently to get the baseball field finished up out at North High School. Here recently, I spent some time walking the softball field with Coach Autumn Wilkins, I believe was her last name, and we went over some things out there. She was really pleased with the way things turned out, and we have some things that we still are going to do. We're going to do a finished laser grade of the actual infield skin to make sure that we get everything slicked off out there. But and tomorrow I'm going to go out there and work on a few places in the outfield that she pointed out that had some low spots. And occasionally what happens during the winter when you do irrigation or drainage tile work is you have some settling. And that has occurred in a few spots. And so I will go out there and remediate that. On the baseball field, we've had some challenges this year that have put us back a little bit. However, we've been working hard with all parties involved, including the architect, the construction company, and the school system, and Mr. Bletzinger to do our best to get back on track. And we've had quite a bit of rain and snow here that has hampered our efforts, unfortunately, with laser grading and installing some drainage tile irrigation. However, 2 weeks ago, we were able to finish up the outfield irrigation and the new drainage tile that we installed out there, as well as in the foul areas between the fences and the foul lines. So we were able to get that done. Moving on to the infield, it's been challenging because with laser grading, you're dropping out a 1/4 inch of dirt, which is plus or minus a 1/4 inch across the entire surface of the dirt. And so as we have rain, freezing, and thawing, it's made it a little difficult. However, today was an exciting day. We've had 5 or 6 dirt piles on the infield that we have been unable to move and knock down over the last 6 or 7 weeks, because when you do that, it has to be dry enough for you to move the dirt. And we got into a point, we will get 3 days of no rain, and sometimes it's sunny outside and it's dry, but the dirt and the soil are not. So at any rate, today we were able to get some stuff knocked down and made some good strides. Tomorrow we will be back out there and plan on doing some more grade work, which we're really excited about, so that we can get this to a completion. If we have the right type of weather, where we have some sunshine, some wind, which apparently there's wind everywhere here in Muhlenberg County, because I've done some work over at South Middle, and it's windy over there quite a bit too. But at any rate, if we get the wind, the sun, and the type of weather that we need, we feel confident that we've got about 12 days or so of actual labor to complete the process out there. And that would include, right now, the infield. We have to put irrigation heads on the infield, which are 4 of them, on what we call the foul areas in between the dugouts. There's another, Bobby, what is it, 9 heads? Another 9 heads. We have drainage work that was added back in November, and that drain tile has got to go in. We have to put in some swells, and we have to put some outlets in that go on the outside of the fence. Sorry about that. They go on the outside of the fence to allow the water to escape the field. We've got to do that. So there's 3 days there. There's 3 days of actual smooth grading, which finishes up all the grade work. There's approximately 3 days of laying sod, and a few days of doing the drain tile on the infield for us to get to completion. And as I've told Mr. Bletzinger and several people, when you do a field, it's not like you build a house or you buy a brand new car. You get it once it's finished. There's still going to be some things that I'll have to come out and look at. Like we've had some things where it's settled. I've got to remediate that with some sand and some things like that. So I'm still going to be around even if we do, finish. And this is something that I'm very excited that we're getting to this point. I have quite a few ties to Muhlenberg County. I coach Owensboro's American Legion baseball team. We have several kids that come and play for our team from this area every year. So I have ties there, and some of you may remember Lilburn Harper. He coached me years ago back in the 80s with baseball, and he's no longer with us, but he was a character. So I'm really looking forward and appreciate the work that you are allowing us to do up here. With that, I'll bring it back to you and ask if anyone has any questions.
If you grew up in Muhlenberg County and you played baseball, you knew Lilburn Harper.
He was a legend. Ray, his son Ray, and I coached at Kentucky Wesleyan together for some time when I coached baseball there, and he and I stayed in touch over the years. But Lilburn was something.
All right, any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
We'll turn over to Sean now.
All right, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sean Matthews. I'm the architect with Summit Architects. And I'll pick up where he left off. So that's the ball field portion of it. I spoke with DJ, the superintendent, prior to getting here, and then I drove by there as well. We had our progress meeting last week, and the weather hasn't been cooperating to this point. However, it looks like we've gotten a break. There's a little bit of rain, I guess, in the forecast, but they're hoping to start foundations tomorrow, from what I understand, for the way dugout, third base dugout. So with a little bit of luck, they've got everything pumped out, and they should be able to start foundations and then laying block thereafter. So, like you were saying, the intent is and the goal is, with some breaks in the weather, getting the third base dugout and the field complete. That is the goal prior to the start of the baseball season. Now, if it snows and it's torrential rain like it has been, we're having some difficulty there, but I know we're all trying our best, and I know you guys certainly are, as well as A&K. They certainly want to, complete the job because that's in their best interest, so they're trying. Now, on the school side, things are looking up. Early on, we were supposed to get done with the job end of October, 1st of November. It's now mid-February. I would like to say, I'm surprised, but unfortunately, I do a lot of school work. I do a lot of jobs around the state, and switchgear is really hard to get. There's a lot of materials that are really difficult to get. I know I was talking with Cooper here. We did catch a break. The switchgear has been ordered now for over a year. They would not give us a ship date. However, it has arrived, and they are starting to put that in. So as of last week, we have set the punch list for substantial completion as of March 8th. So less than a month, we'll be doing the punch list, and then 30 days after that, we'll have final completion. I know they're working currently. The big push is the quarry tile in the kitchen floor, because once that goes down, they'll be able to get the kitchen equipment in, and then all the pieces will fall into place. The contractor right now currently has some intumescent painting. That's where you have a firewall, where we had to add the square footage. We had to put a firewall between the existing building to allow us to add the square footage. So there's 4 columns that have to be painted before they can finish that. That's a fireproofing. So if they can finish the painting and the floor tile in the kitchen, then we should be moving forward. The biggest thing there also is the outside. It's looking pretty rough if you go back there, but again, that's due to the weather. I know they did pour some today, and weather permitting, they'll continue. They've got I think they have 3 sections of pour that they're going to do in the loading dock area and a new drain to allow it to drain better. As long as the weather holds, they'll pour that in the next couple of days. They've got sidewalk to work back in there, and then also finish grading and things like that to clean up where they've been doing a lot of construction. Once the kitchen tile goes in, they'll be able to finish up the ceiling tile, they'll be able to finish up the miscellaneous painting, and they have to wrap up the cable railing, things of that nature, but there is an exterior door that leads out onto the loading dock. As soon as the switch gear's in, we were waiting to put that in so that we can get the switch gear in the building. Once that's in, they'll be able to put your door in and finish up the exterior. They've got some coping to do on the top of the building to finish up the roofing and stuff like that, putting in the gutters, and putting in the downspouts and tying all that in. And then the goal is substantial completion on March the 8th. It's been a while, but I think it's going to be well worth it for the kids. So I think the quality's there. It's just been a matter of getting the materials.
I don't know if you all have had a chance to go out there and look at it. It's very
gonna
large
be-
and it's going to be nice.
Once it's done, I feel like you'll have, I want to say state of the art. You're going to have as nice a kitchen and cafeteria. It should solve a lot of the scheduling issues that you have. And I would like to take a second, and I know I was talking to Mr. Rager out in the hallway. North Middle, Mr. Lanham, I guess Lanham Brothers, he stepped up. They have gotten Reynolds and Doyle, who's doing a lot of the mill work and stuff out here, doing a good job at the high school. They're going to be doing the cabinetry and stuff. They're just waiting, I guess, to the end of the season, the end of the school year, and they're going to come in and they're going to redo all the glazing, all the storefronts and stuff like that. When we met with them, they asked us the question, well, why didn't you bring this up, throughout the process? Well, the answer is there was no progress to bring up. So unfortunately, they're going to have to go back and essentially redo everything. But all indications are, I've talked with Mr. Lanham and the contractors, they're going to do it right. So as soon as school's out, we're going to hold them to it. So just like you guys, we're going to be here. We're not going to leave for any reason. So I think you'll be pleased when it's done.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. So we'll move down now to our attendance and enrollment report. Mr. Hardison?
Thank you, Chair. Let me just quickly go over the 6-month report there. That ended February the 6th, so a good portion of that is through January. You did notice there that Freeman and Greenville have been doing quite well, and then South Middle's doing well at the middle school upper grades. But we're pretty steady, trying to see growth. In comparison, I laid out 2 pages of recent weeks, just a comparison of where we are currently. Like I say, the monthly report is a little bit dated, but you can seeing some pretty good numbers here on the last couple of weeks. But I also want you to take a look at the enrollment numbers below the attendance numbers, just to be fully informed of where we are and what's going on. Any questions?
Any questions? All right. Thank you very much. All right, and then item C, review of personal information data security practices, guidance, and implementation as stated in regulation. Chad's favorite part.
Thank you, board members. This is our yearly affirmation that we're meeting the state's guidelines and best practices for data security. You have a handout that has some of the items we do to make sure we're in compliance. Thank you, board members.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. We'll move down now to our technology plan, item A, under our board action items.
Thank you again, board members. This is next year's technology plan. Some items I'll highlight. It has teacher workstations for the high school. Plan on purchasing more interactive displays, Windows software, supporting SLP, supporting our wide area network. The big item will be, we'll be planning our 5-year Chromebook replacement cycle. So that'd be the big item we're asking you all to consider tonight, the technology plan.
Any questions? If not, I need a motion to approve our technology plan for the 23-24 school year. A motion by Mr. Jobar, second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of approving the technology plan, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Thank you. All right, now down to item B, and this is to review alternate program policies and procedures. Ms. Finley?
Good evening. So tonight I want to talk to you all a little bit about the alternate school and a change that we need to make. So if you don't mind to go forward a little bit and pull up the handbook, and then I'll direct you to a page here in just a second. But this year we have had an increase in the number of referrals to the alternate school for students who have been caught vaping. And I'll talk to Mr. Watkins, and feel free to jump in at any point, or Ms. Browning the same. But so far this year, we've had 15 students to be referred for that very reason, and I think it's reasonable to think that if we know about 15, then we probably don't know about a lot of others. So tonight, we do need to review these procedures, and you all do this every year in July, but we want to bring this back to you today because when we get into assigning the length of stay, then obviously we know drug, alcohol, and weapon violations have always been 18 weeks. But the difference with vaping is that it's not a chargeable offense. Vaping with THC is not a chargeable offense. And so what we are recommending is that if you look on page 3, the third paragraph under assignment, and then I'll read what the change would look like. Vapes containing prohibited substances, including but not limited to THC, will result in a minimum 9-week assignment. Length of assignment in the alternate school program for any of the violations mentioned above may be extended pending the outcome of further investigation by school officials and/or law enforcement. Other disciplinary actions, including expulsion, may be warranted. And so to arrive at this suggestion, then we have met middle school, high school principals. Ms. Browning was in there. We talked to Contessa, and if you remember back to the Christmas party, then I'll talk to you all about that as well. So we just want to bring that to you today to formalize that. Before you get to the action piece of this, I would want to make sure that everyone knows that this reduction in the length of stay in no way reduces the importance of this topic. And so we actually need to be very fervent in our considering more programs, ideas, presentations, whatever that looks like, to make an adjustment and an impact on the students. So students having access to these synthetic drugs should be a priority for our families and our staff and our students and our community. So last week, Melody and I, we watched a webinar, and it was probably one of the most impactful presentations, and we actually reached out to the presenter to see if we could try to bring a webinar here for all of our administrators. But the title of that was called High in Plain Sight, and it was very informative. And one thing he encouraged us to do was to go out into our community and then look for these items, these synthetic drugs that were on the shelves. And so thank you, Eric, for being a computer guy. But this was a result of 3 visits that Melody and I took last week, and we're planning on going to additional, and you can just kind of quickly scroll through them. I think there's 5 or 6. But synthetic drugs are readily available in all shapes, sizes, and concoctions. And so I actually printed you, if you want to take one down and pass it. If you'll notice, on several of those boxes, it will say pharmacy regulated. And so I went to a credible pharmacy source, and I just printed it off today, and you can do the same, where it talks about Delta 8, and that's one of the products that's included in many of the products that you saw on the screen. And so you can tell just by reading that Delta 8 definitely has impacts that are negative. A lot of people think that it is safe, and if you're an adult and that's your choice, then you're an adult and that's your choice. But the people we're concerned about right now are our students and the access that they have to that. I'm sorry, I thought you said something. So research predicts that we're going to see an increase in the seizure activity, disruptive moods, anxiety, depression, and paranoia, and other outcomes associated with the use of these products. So for all the people listening or watching online, then I encourage you to take notice of the things on the shelf, to do your own research, and to be vigilant. Parents especially need to understand the risks and the dangers associated with these products, and they need to know that when we find it, we are going to refer your child to the Renaissance Center. This isn't something that we will ignore by any means, but the road to recovery will take more than a stay at the Renaissance Center. It's going to take more than that. And I'll stop there and see if Melody or Alex want to add anything.
I'll just add, we have had students, and one of the things the presenter brought out to us, and I've been through 2 trainings, this was one of the most impactful. The other one was right before crack and meth hit us. I went to one that they predicted it. This one reminded me of that one, and it was true. What he predicted came true. This man was very impactful. But we have had students who have been tested and they test negative for drug use, but we know they're on something. These synthetic drugs now are not showing up in drug testing. So how can you treat that if you don't know what you're dealing with? And if they're not going to be forthcoming with you? So this is a very serious issue. Just this weekend, because you and I talked about this, we've talked with Contessa, I mean, it really was that impactful for us. Just on my phone, on 2 different news feeds, 2 of the drugs the man mentioned, there were major articles on those this weekend. That was Saturday and Sunday. So he gave us a tiny little prediction of what our next year is going to look like with our students. And it's not a rosy picture. And I encourage you, hiding in plain sight, walk into some of the stores and they're going to be right in front of you. They're going to be the first thing you see.
Any other questions? Or comments? Okay. All right. Any questions for Julie? If not, I need a motion to approve the review of the policy for the alternate program.
Make a motion.
A motion by Mr. Johar, and I'll second. All in favor of reviewing the alternate program policies and procedures, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Thank you. All right, item C
More work for you.
is to consider the 23-24 student accident insurance.
Thank you, Chairman Rager, board members. This is the student accident insurance. It benefits our students if they're hurt during any school activities. It will help cover some of their deductible amounts. It's kind of a gap insurance for them. They also have a product for uninsured students. So, which is a very, very inexpensive product that also provides them coverage if needed, if their parents do not have it. It's the same carrier with K&K Insurance. We've had them for several years now. The agents, Roberts Insurance Group, they're very good with us. They are very prompt in responding whenever we have any issues, so I recommend that we go with the bid from K&K, and it remains unchanged, so. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions? If not, I would need a motion to consider the student accident insurance.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Wells.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor of considering the 23-24 student accident insurance, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And we'll move down now to item D, and that's approval of SBDM allocations for the fiscal year '24.
Chairman Rager. One thing, these are the SBDM allocations that we do. In the past, we have calculated them based on ADA, and this year we thought it better to calculate them based on average daily membership, which is a little bit higher than ADA, so it benefits the schools more so. And we recommend that we keep it at $110 per student, and it will be re-reviewed in October of 2023 and adjusted at that time for each school to finalize numbers. Are there any questions?
Any questions? If not, I would need a motion to approve the SBDM allocations for the fiscal year '24. Motion by Mr. Bowers, second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the allocations for the fiscal year '24 at $110 per student, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. We'll move down now to the added item E, and this is to approve the change order 012 for cafeteria expansion at the Muhlenberg County High School.
This is to add stairs in the southeast corner of the cafeteria. When it was, originally it had just one egress out the what is that, the south side? Yeah. So the south side of there, this allows the students to get down the hall without having to come up one side and go all the way around. Also, we were walking around, I guess it was Mr. Carver was walking around with the safety folks. Was it you that was walking around with them, school safety? Or maybe it was Matt. I can't remember. It was Matt, I'm sorry. However, they were discussing that, and they pointed out the fact that, well, you need to have another egress, and we said, actually, it's in the works, so that's something they were quite pleased with. So it is a concrete step. They're adding, the railings as well, and the change order is $28,868.
Any questions?
Are they going to repair the other one, fix the other side too?
For
refreshing the other side as well?
Yeah, it's got the ramp, and it's got the
I haven't seen
the seating area. You need to go look. It's really neat.
You have currently a ramp and 2 stairs. They're all on the main access when you walk in.
Yeah.
As you go down the hall, all of them are down this way. Originally, the stair and the ramp were kind of exactly where Eric is saying that they were going to put them. Speaking with the group early on, we chose to move everything to where the flow would be kind of towards the cafeteria. But I see the need. I mean, the stair would be, it is a fair amount of money, but it's going to be a really nice stair. It matches with everything else, so it's a lot of stained woodwork, and the cable railing and everything like that is where the cost is, but it'll blend, and the flow will work nicely. And that includes the gate as well, the lockable gate, so it'll keep students from kind of running through the cafeteria.
Make a motion.
I really do encourage you all to go take a look at that when you do get a chance. It's really,
I went out
it
there
is nice.
and took me a little tour on it.
Okay,
And we
good.
talked about those steps, and I think it's a really good idea.
It is.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
There. We have a motion by Mr. Johar. Second by Ms. Wells. All in favor of change order for the MCHS cafeteria stairs, please say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. I hear none. We'll move down to the board consent agenda items. Approval of the minutes of the prior board meeting, consider leave of absence requests, fundraising requests, and field trip requests.
Transportation.
Yeah. It's for next month. Any questions regarding the board consent agenda items? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion, I'll second. All in favor of approving the board consent agenda items, please say aye. All opposed? I hear none. We're down to adjournment. Need a motion to adjourn. Have a motion by Mr. Bowers. Second by Mr. Bowers. All right, all in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none, and we are adjourned.